Pontiac's Rebellion was launched in 1763 by a loose confederation of Native Americans dissatisfied with British rule in the Great Lakes region following the French and Indian War. Warriors from numerous nations joined in the effort to drive British soldiers and settlers out of the region. The war is named after Ottawa leader Pontiac, the most prominent of many Indigenous leaders in the conflict. The Indian Wars, known as Pontiac's Rebellion, begins when a confederacy of native warriors under Ottawa chief Pontiac attacks the British force at Detroit. After failing to take the fort in their initial assault, Pontiac's forces, made up of Ottawas and reinforced by Wyandots, Ojibwas, and Potawatamis, initiated a siege that would stretch into the months. As the French and Indian Wars came to an end in the early 1760s, tribes living in the former French territory found the new British authorities to be far less conciliatory than their predecessors.
In 1762, Pontiac enlisted support from practically every tribe from Lake Superior to the lower Mississippi for a joint campaign to expel the British from the formerly occupying French lands.
According to Pontiac's plan, each tribe would seize the nearest fort and then join forces to wipe out the undefended settlements. In April, Pontiac convened a war council on the banks of the Ecorse River near Detroit. It was decided that Pontiac and his warriors would gain access to the British fort at Detroit under the pretense of negotiating a peace treaty, giving them the opportunity to seize forcibly the arsenal there. However, British Major General Henry Gladwin learned of the plot, and the British were ready when Pontiac arrived in early May, and Pontiac was forced to begin a siege. At the same time, his allies in Pennsylvania began a siege of Fort Pitt, while other sympathetic tribes such as the Delaware, the Shawnees, the Seneca, they prepared to move against various forts and outposts in Michigan, New York, Pennsylvania, Maryland, and Virginia. On July 31st, a British relief expedition attacked Pontiac's camp but suffered heavy losses and were repelled in the Battle of Bloody Run. Nevertheless, they had succeeded in providing the fort at Detroit with reinforcements and supplies, which allowed it to hold on against the Indians into the fall. The major forts at Pitt and Niagara likewise held on, but the United Tribes captured 8 other fortified posts. At these forts, the garrisons were wiped out, relief expeditions were repulsed, and nearby frontier settlements were destroyed. In the spring of 1764, 2 British armies were sent out, one into Pennsylvania and Ohio under Colonel Bouquet, and the other to the Great Lakes under Colonel John Bradstreet. Bouquet's campaign met with success, and the Delawares and the Shawnees were forced to sue for peace, breaking Pontiac's alliance. Failing to persuade tribes in the West to join his rebellion and lacking the hoped support from the French, Pontiac finally signed a treaty with the British in 1766. And in 1769, he was murdered by a Peoria tribesman while visiting Illinois. His death led to a bitter warfare among the tribes, and the Peorias were nearly wiped out. Thanks for watching this video, and once again subscribe for more videos like this one.